Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Friday Wellness for our Highly Sensitive Person Challenge. I'm excited to be here with you today talking about essential oils for HSP moments. So if you're listening to this on the recording, don't ever hesitate to reach out, ask me any questions. If you are checking us out live right now, feel free to comment as well. So I'm going to go through all of the senses of being an HSP and then actually share with you some of my favorite essential oils for those senses. We're going to start first with the sense of hearing and then move through all of the rest of them. What I'm going to lay out for you today is how to apply these oils as well as the specific therapeutic benefits of the oils for these HSP moments. It'll be a great opportunity as well. I'm going to go through those self-soothing techniques that we learned throughout our challenge. Whether you have just started the challenge or you've completed it or you're in the middle, this will be a great resource for you for wherever you're at in the midst of the challenge. I do like to recommend for certain people, if you know you have sensitivities to things, always test things right here on the top part of your hand with just a little bit. And because our hands are much more sensitive, you'll notice if your body starts to red up, it could be that you have a sensitivity to that particular oil. Now, that's something you can do for anything topically, as well as you can smell these oils. And if you have an aversion to these oils, more than likely you might not need them. Or what could also be possible is you and that moment are not needing the specific oils we're talking about, but you also could be just sensitive to it in that moment. So I'm going to also give you a few options of different things to use when you might be feeling a sensitivity. So for the first sense, we are going to talk about the sense of hearing. Now, the sense of hearing is one of those senses, if you are somebody that has been diagnosed as a highly sensitive person, loud noises or things tend to bother you. So when we're talking about specific things with the sense of hearing where those noises bother you, some great oils for you are going to be calming oils, things that help calm you down. These particular oils can actually be applied right here around the ears, and it can be a great opportunity for you to calm the mind as well as calm the body down. Now I'm going to put in the live video, what I'm typing out here, and then as well I'm going to be sharing with you a really pretty graphic after we're complete today. So some of my favorite hearing calming oils for me are my citruses. So I have the orange, wild orange really helps calm me down, as well as lavender, ylang is a really great one. Sandalwood is also a really great one. Two of my favorite blends with doTerra are In Tune and Adaptiv. And I'm going to show you what those are because those are my two oils that I tend to use most times when I am feeling that HSP hearing. And I'm going to try and share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. Great. So you should be able to see this now. Hopefully you can. The Adaptiv here is a calming blend. So it has some great oils in it. Now, with doTerra, it can come in different varieties of application methods. I love the roller because it's a great go-to for me. So what this does is it boosts the mood, it helps assist in centering, it increases feelings of tranquility, it soothes and uplifts, and it really helps reduce feelings of anxiousness and tension. So for me, this is my go-to. Now, if you see, it's got a few of those oils I mentioned, which is wild orange and lavender. So what I do with the In Tune is I'll actually roll it right here around my ears because that's where my sensitive issue is in that moment. And then I roll it down here because then I can smell it as well. And sometimes I'll actually massage it right in, massage it in. And 3 full deep breaths can help ground me when I'm feeling like I'm in a little bit of a chaos with anything with an HSP hearing moment. Now, the other one that I did mention is in tune. I'm going to show you that one real quick here. So in tune is our focus blend. And now in tune, what it does, it enhances and sustains sense of focus. So if I'm in an HSP place where my hearing is overwhelming me, but I know I still need to be focused, this would be the go-to for me versus the Adaptiv blend. Now the reason for this is it has a few different oils in it. Now it's got that Ylang I mentioned, which is really great to help me calm down. It has the frankincense, which actually helps my brain focus better, but it's got those sandalwoods, the Roman chamomile, and the lime, and that helps with the focus. So I would actually apply this the same places that I would apply my oil for the Adaptiv blend that I used. So I'm going to stop share for a second, just in case you couldn't see when I was sharing, is I'm actually applying the oils around the ears, up here in the temples, and then I massage the ears. And then I rub some right here on my chest, and I take 3 full deep breaths. So again, the oils that one of my favorites that I love to use for the hearing are the sandalwood, the ylang-ylangs, the lavenders, and the orange. And 2 of the favorite blends I use are in tune and sandalwood, are in tune and Adaptiv. So now let's go into smell. So with HSPs, right, smells tend to bother us, and especially like pungent, intense smells like perfumes or high chemical smells can actually give us headaches. And so those kind of smells can really rob us of feeling great, because when it starts to manifest a headache, it's really difficult to be able to operate. Some of my favorite oils for those to help offset it are my mints. So this would be Peppermint, Spearmint. I also find that Eucalyptus really works well for me to help me smell something that is pleasant. Now, lavender has been said to mask odors. The thing is, lavender is really calming. So if I'm in a place where I don't want to necessarily calm down, I'll actually mix eucalyptus and lavender together. And those 2 oils together are really helpful for me with the sense of smell. So now I'm going to share the screen again so you can see what we are talking about with eucalyptus, because that's one of my favorites to actually use when I am in an HSP smell moment. Now, I have a blend called Breathe, which comes in a roller, but I actually buy rollers and put sometimes my own blends into rollers. And don't ever hesitate to ask if you want to learn how to make your own blends. So it's got a calming aroma, but it's not going to sedate. It also helps clear breathing, but it helps you to actually breathe that in. So for me, eucalyptus is one of my favorites to use when I'm in an HSP smell moment. Now, if I need to mask the odor a little bit more, I'll put a little lavender in it. And then I always apply the oils onto my chest. So onto my chest, take some nice deep breaths in, and I might even dab the oil right here. Now, when I dab here, I like to use an oil that has been cut with a carrier. So I like to use coconut oil or something like that. The rollers that I use already have carriers in them. So I would just dab right here. And that'll allow me to smell that aroma instead of whatever else is happening. Now for me too, sometimes I do carry coffee beans, and coffee beans help to reset your sense of smell. So after I've left somewhere where that smell was, coffee beans can reset. If you notice this is what they used to have in department stores when people were smelling perfumes to reset their nose, but it can be a good way to reset as well. Awesome. All right, we're going to go into sight now. So in an HSP moment of sight, it tends to be like violence or sometimes fear or anger, scary movies, those kind of things tend to bother people that are highly sensitive. For that, it generally tends to create a feeling of unsafeness. We're not safe. We're not feeling that we are in a comfortable space. Anxiety, overwhelm, maybe even being scared or fear could come up. So for me, some of the oils that I love to use are oils that are warming to the heart, like heartwarming oils. These are going to be the sandalwoods, the ylang-ylangs. Ylang-ylang has been said to be, for me at least, it's been one of the things that helps heal a broken heart. Now, there's a really great line of oils from doTerra that I love called the Emotional Kit. These are my go-tos when I am having on an HSP moment because of whatever is going on outside of me, and I'm seeing it. So signs of anger, violence, fear, etc. So I'm going to share the screen with you on some of these awesome oils. I love these. These are some of my go-tos. A lot of my clients use these, as well as the Intune and the Adaptiv are some of my favorites. Now, my one that I love to use at night, if I am feeling very sad or I'm feeling a little down, Console is my go-to. I love, love, love this blend. And I got most of my clients on this blend in the beginning when COVID hit. Excuse me. Because it's very comforting to the heart. So if you notice here, it promotes feelings of comfort and hope. It counteracts negative emotions of grief, sadness, and hopelessness. So this has been shown to really help people that are grieving. But when you're just feeling really down, this blend is amazing. And I love to just place this right on my heart and take some nice deep breaths. Sometimes I'll even just place my hands on my heart and sit in a moment and just reconnect with self versus whatever else is going on out there. Now, if you notice on here, there is rose in it too. Rose is really warming to the heart. It's got that ylang I mentioned. It's also got the sandalwood that I mentioned, as well as a few different oils you see there. So this is one of my favorites. Now, another one that I do love when I'm struggling in those moments is peace. Peace is part of the emotional line too. This is called a reassuring blend. This helps when those situations that you're seeing with an HSP, when you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious. So this is the go-to for more of the overwhelmed, anxious symptoms of an HSP with the sense of sight. So the clary sage and the marjoram mixed with the vetiver help calm you down, but then the spearmint actually helps you to be focused as well. It's not an uplifting blend, but it does really help with that. So that's my go-to. Now my third one, because sight for a lot of HSPs can be really intense, is Forgive. Now Forgive for me is one of my actual go-tos. I use Console a lot in the evening because it helps sedate me. Forgive I use much more during the day because it does help uplift me. So it promotes feelings of contentment, relief, and patience. It also counteracts negative emotions of anger and guilt. So when I'm having those issues and maybe there's an emotional reaction, this would be the oil. The reason for that is it's got the bergamot in it. So bergamot helps with people struggling with any kind of sense of overwhelm or frustration or things like that. So that's going to help with that. Now you might notice there's a lot of wood oils in it. So that's going to help calm down. So wood oils, what they do when you breathe them in, it sends a message to your brain to calm down. So the aromatic benefits of the wood oils would do that for you. So those are some of my favorites there. Now I'll stop sharing the screen. Again, any questions, you guys don't hesitate to ask. All right, so we're going to go into, all right, we did hearing, we did smelling, we did sight, tasting. Tasting for me, my go-to are two. Peppermint, just straight up peppermint. I actually will swish it in my mouth, and peppermint just helps to cut whatever flavor was in there. But there's a really cool blend called Digestzen, and it's got anise in it. So anise actually will help if the whatever the taste is super pungent. It'll help clear that out, as well as different oils. So I tend to do the blend called Digestzen, and I'll share that with you right now. But good old-fashioned peppermint is always a good go-to. That's why you see a lot of restaurants always give mints after dinner mints because of the peppermint. And I'm going to show you Digestzen here. So Digestzen, it helps when there's an upset stomach. You can also use it for actual issues. So like say you have gas, you feel bloated after a meal, it's going to help with indigestion as well. So if you see here, it's got ginger in it too, which is great for digestion, the anise and the peppermint. So as well as a few others, but these three right here, anise, peppermint, and ginger, are the go-tos for digestive issues. So I tend to go with this one before I would go with peppermint, but I always have peppermint on hand in case I need it. Now you can, with these particular oils, ingest them. You can just take 1 or 2 drops under your tongue, swish it around, and you can actually ingest it. Cool thing about this company that I love is they actually made peppermint soft gels. So you can just take the soft gels and pop them in if you don't like the taste, as well as the Digestzen has soft gels as well. So that's a possibility too. So we're gonna move on now to touch. So when people that are having HSP issues with the area of touch, what they're generally struggling with is there's some kind of sense of unsafety. So the nervous system is saying whatever is happening right now is not safe. And so what's going on then is they are struggling with this sense of unsafety. And so then their nervous system goes into fight or flight. So when your nervous system goes into fight or flight, it's in its autonomic nervous system, not in its sympathetic. And when it's in that kind of nervous system, it tends to not want to be in a place of calm, as well as it doesn't necessarily want to feel like it can get out of it. The nervous system gets locked and stuck in it. So different oils or different aromatic things that you can use when you are struggling with this are some oils that will calm the nervous system down. So anything that's going to calm the nervous system down will help in that particular area. So I'm going to show you a few. Now I've offered you several that would work. And one of the only that I didn't offer you is one of my favorites called Serenity. So I'm going to just show you that one right now so you can notice what that particular oil actually does. All right, so Serenity here, it's called the Restful Blend. A lot of people use it in the evening, so it's a really good blend. A lot of my clients say it helps them to sleep. So it's a go-to sleep blend for many people. The reason is it's got the cedarwood, it's got ylang, the chamomile helps people calm down, vetiver, sandalwood, and lavender. So it's got a really good blend of oils that will calm the nervous system down. So this is a great blend if you're feeling like you need some comfort and calmness to sleep. Now, some of the other blends that I mentioned are ones that I already offered. So I'm going to come back. So I offered Peace, which can be really beneficial. It calms the nervous system down. Console does as well, calms the nervous system down, as well as I said, a few of those straight oils, ylang, lavender, which are in many of these blends, will also calm the nervous system down. My go-to during the day to calm the nervous system down is actually the Adaptiv or the Peace. The Intune can do it as well, but one of those blends are probably a good go-to versus the Serenity. I wouldn't recommend Console or Serenity during the day to calm the nervous system down. So great ways to do that is actually you apply it right here in the back. So then it's going to go right into your brain stem. Right there, you're going to be able to absorb the oil and it will tell your autonomic nervous system you can calm down. A few other places are on the bottom of your feet because your body absorbs things the most there. And then you're always going to want to put it on your chest and take 3 full deep breaths. So with those 3 full deep breaths, research has shown that it will also trigger the lower lobes of your lungs. The lower lobes of your lungs are where your relaxation receptors are. So this is where the receptors are to tell your brain it's time to calm down. So when you deep breathe, it'll help with that. So those are a few oils for that. Now, all of the self-soothing techniques that we shared and the training that I offered can be utilized for this as well.